Where does your morning anxiety come from? That is a question I ask myself all the time. I was approaching it the wrong way. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to cure this morning anxiety that you're having and where it comes from. Morning anxiety is going to be tied to the idea of giving all your energy to a future version of you. So, and I'm also going to give you an exercise I do every single morning to get rid of it and keep it gone. One important thing is mindset, manifestation, blah, 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 is not about what you do. It's about like how often you do it. So, how clean is your mental, spiritual, emotional hygiene? So, this is going to tie into that. If you're not interested in doing something every single morning to never experience it again, if you're not interested in doing what it takes, it's like a 2 second exercise. But if you're not interested in doing the consistent thing to get rid of it and to rewire your brain in that way, this video is not for you, because you clearly want the morning anxiety and you clearly want it to bother you for the rest of your life. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you exactly how I unparalyzed my brain in the morning. And every time my morning anxiety comes up, I can literally remove it. Something I've worked on for a while. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly 3 ways to unparalyze yourself. So, morning anxiety drains the current you. And this is going to explain why you're tired in the morning, why you're so tired in the morning. You're not tired in the morning. When you feed into the belief, this video is going to be so good. When you feed into the belief, and as you're getting gems, drop them in the comments once I post this video on my page. But when you're feeding into the beliefs that sleep is what makes you energized, you will wake up every single morning that you don't get enough sleep, and you'll say, "Well, I didn't get enough sleep, so that means that's the explanation for why I'm tired." And what happens to that is you completely over like this is the point. Like this is the point, and this is like you, and you're like doing this over the point. You're like, no, but this over here, like I'm tired because I didn't get enough sleep. Like I got 7 hours and 30 minutes instead of 8 hours. I got 6 hours and 2 minutes instead of 7 hours. Like you're using that as an excuse to like the point is here, the problem is here, and you're like, well, the symptom is like what I'm more worried about. So when you have morning anxiety, and you're very like all this is going to tie beautifully together. I'm so excited for this video. It's going to drain the current you. So your morning anxiety, which is when you get up and your mind's like constantly running, constantly like doing laps. Like you're laying down in your bed, but your mind is doing laps. Okay? If you ran as much as your social anxiety is running circles around you every single morning, you would be skinty. Okay? Stick figure. Okay? So when you wake up and it's running circles around you, what is happening? It is draining the current you. So imagine you wake up in the morning, let's just say 8 o'clock, right? And you still feel really tired. So because you feel tired, you can't get out of bed. So then you end up being late to work. Or if you're in school, you end up skipping class. Or if you work and you go to school, you probably do both of these things 2 or 3 times a week. So it's not that you're not getting enough sleep. It's that you're literally draining the current version of you of the energy that you do have. So I'm going to say this very boldly and say that sleep is not the problem. It's the lack of knowing that the anxiety is coming from the fact that you're draining your own self through trying to paralyze your brain. And that's the second part I'm going to get into. So all this is going to make sense in layers. If you wake up at 100%, let's just assume you're a perfect human. You don't I think most humans wake up at 90. I can speak for myself and say I wake up at 95. And the only times I feel tired, I've caught this because I've literally consciously rewired my brain. The only times I feel tired are when I have morning anxiety. And I was like, I wonder why that is. It's not because I was actually tired, because I wasn't tired when I first woke up. I got tired when I picked up my phone and I started doing this, 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 and watching YouTube videos and watching TikToks, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Reels. And then my brain was like, oh, we're awake. I'm taking off for the day. See you. See you, girl. Kalia, I'll see you later. I'm going to take off. That's what it's doing. So imagine if you woke up on 100%, but you could do something to where your brain never said, bye, I'll see you later. I'm going to go for a run. Like I'm going to run laps around you. My brain starts going like this. What if you could keep that 100% and never be draining yourself? And we have to think about this. I said in the beginning, morning anxiety is giving all of your energy to a future version of you. So if it's giving energy to a future version of you, what is it doing to the current version of you? So that's like the me right now. It's 3 p.m. on the dot. That's interesting. 3 p.m. on the dot. Right now, this is the current me making this video for my channel with all the information I love and learn, right? If I start thinking about what I'm going to eat at 7 p.m., I now take all of the energy that is currently in this state and I say, go to a future version of me. Now, when you're doing meditations, let's just say you were the placebo meditation from Joe Dispenza. Highly recommend that. 21 days, highly recommend it. Morning and night, 21 days, highly recommend it. And come back and comment and tell me how your life changed because it will. If you're doing something like that, you're doing the exact same thing. You're taking all the energy from your current you, which is the anxiety, fear, and you're giving it to a future version of yourself who has the desire, the happiness, the relationship, the money, and you're feeding that version. So it's the exact same thing. But when you wake up in the morning and you choose to do the opposite, which is taking your future self's energy and you're feeding your future self, or you're taking your current energy and feeding your future self the negative, right? So it's both an exchange between the right now you and the future you. If you do a meditation tape, you're taking all your current fear and transforming it into all this beautiful, lovely, just delicious energy of what you could become in the future and believing that you already have it. But if you are taking all your anxiety right now and you're transferring all that anxiety into the future version of you, or even worse, you take all the anxiety you think your future self is going to have. So that's worrying about dinner, worrying about if you're going to get a text, worrying about all the things in the future. And you're like, no, I want to worry about those now. I want to take my anxiety, feed it to the future self, and let the future self feed it back to me. So let's just feed each other fear instead of it feeding each other power and happiness and desire and having, like when you have the current version of you taking all its fear, transmuting it to the future self, becomes all this beautiful, juicy, healthy, amazing, like desire and just hopefulness and just the unexplainable feeling of being able to get what you want in life in that future version of you. And then it takes it and it's like, here you go, embody that now. Here are things to do. And you're like, oh, but I'm still scared. So you give that fear to your future version, and your future version is like, but this is how we want to feel this way. And it goes back, that's what the meditation is. It's just a conversation, energy transfer between you, your current self, and your future self. So we're doing the same thing when it comes to morning anxiety. You're draining your current self. So if you wake up on 100%, As soon as you wake up, 50% of that energy is going to go to the activity that you have later. So if I wake up thinking about what I'm going to eat at 12 o'clock for lunch, now 50% of my 50% of my 100 is now on the fact that I'm going to have lunch later at 12 o'clock. But it's 8 a.m. So we have 4 hours until we need to go eat. But I'm taking on that fear now, taking on that anxiety now. So now I'm on 50%. I've been awake since 8 o'clock. It's 8:05. And now I'm on 50%. So you don't even think that you woke up on 100 because your brain is still sleepy brain. And you're like, well, I will eventually like get enough sleep at night to wake up on 100% when you've been waking up at 100% this whole time. You were just on 50% so early into your day before your brain is even conscious. So you're thinking that you woke up on 50%, and that's not what's happening. It's just as soon as that when you woke up, that thing that you have at 10 o'clock, the thing you have at 11 o'clock, the thing you have at 1 o'clock, and those things are taking over yourself right now instead of doing what you want to do now. And that's what I'm going to give you the exact tools for to unparalyze yourself, because this is a paralyzing cycle of like, okay, what do I do now? Like I feel like I can't escape that loop. And so it's almost like, let's just say you're working a job at a Forever 21, and you have afternoon shift for 1 p.m. It's very common for you to be like, well, I can't do anything till 12:30. I'm not gonna do anything all day. I'm gonna get ready for work at 12:30, head to work for 1. If you were to wake up at 8 a.m., you have 5 hours of just things to do all day long. But when you decide that you're gonna stay paralyzed and you have literally internalized this paralyzation, that you physically don't think you have time for anything else in your day. So it's not just the morning anxiety, it's literally the anxiety that leads up to an event that you may have. And I experienced this today when I realized, oh my God, I actually have cured my morning anxiety. Even when I have morning anxiety, I know exactly how to fix it. And that's why I want to make this video. I actually made these notes right after I fixed it. And I was like, oh my God, I got to tell the people. This is amazing. Like, I'm never going to have this transformation ever again because I've already broken free of that curse. So let me share it before it dissipates and I forget that I even did this. So you have this shift at work at 1, and you wake up and you just lay in bed up until it's time to get ready for work and then you go to work. So it's not like you didn't have time to do anything else. You just literally are paralyzing yourself. And so you you basically sit there and get nothing done all day until it's time to get ready. And that's how we paralyze ourselves mentally. And again, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you the exact exercise on how to do it in the moment. Right now, I'm going to give you hmm, right now I'm going to give you the 3 ways to unparalyze yourself. The first thing is in the morning, no time is allowed. And this is for people that are, I said this in the beginning, are actually wanting to do the thing. Like you're not happy having the anxiety anymore. You're like, I want this gone. I don't care what I need to believe, what ideas I need to have, what I need to do. I don't want it no more. You're ready to like, bye. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't care about, I don't pity myself for not getting the I don't blame myself for feeling like I don't get enough sleep every single day. And I don't want to feel like I'm just always behind in the morning or always have that anxiety. And one other thing is you cannot notice that you're paralyzed unless you have a healthy regulation of your nervous system. Because when you're sleeping and you're peaceful and you wake up and your body turns into the shift of paralyzation, you're gonna be like, no, thank you. And that's when you're able to implement the exercise I'm gonna give you. And you can't do that unless you already have understanding of your nervous system, and how it reacts. So the three things I'm going to give you, which the first thing is no time allowed. I don't want you to take each note and do all three. Take the one that resonates the most and do that one. These are three things for three different types of people. These are not three things for everybody to do. These are three things for separate people. So the first thing is no time allowed, which helped me a lot. I've done all three of these things, by the way, but not all at the same time. I started doing this one like 3 years ago. The second one I started to do recently, and the third one I started doing a few years ago. So they're all coming together. That's what this channel is. It's all coming together in layers. So no time allowed means figure out how much time a skill or activity will take in the morning and literally do it. So no time allowed means when you wake up, train your brain to not look at the time on your phone because time triggers. Time literally that's the end of the statement. Time triggers. Time triggers. So if you know you have something important at 11 o'clock and you're going to paralyze yourself to not do anything until 11 o'clock, you cannot paralyze yourself if you don't have any time attached to what's going on currently. So let's just say like realistic terms, your morning routine. You go on a walk every single day around your neighborhood, and you know that it's exactly 32 minutes. At the pace that you always walk is 32 minutes exactly every single day. If you do this in the morning, you need to find an activity that doesn't have a time attached to it so that when you go do it, you're not going to have any anxiety or panic and you're going to be able to get things done in the morning. Same thing for the example with the walking, 32 minutes. You're going to be you're going to leave the house. You may be on your phone, but there's ways to use your phone without seeing the time. On TikTok, when you're scrolling, you don't see the time. Listening to a podcast, you don't look at your phone. Listening to a YouTube video, you don't look at your phone. Listening to music, you don't look at your phone. Just don't wear the Apple Watch or remove the time off of wherever you can remove it so that you don't see the freaking time. Maybe your alarm clock is the thing that maybe your alarm clock is the thing that really triggers you in the morning. And you may think it's because of the sound, it's most likely because of the hours that are on it. So find a way to either go to sleep at a certain time, this is literally what you should be doing, training your body to go to sleep at a certain time, to wake up in a certain routine so that you don't have to look at the time. So maybe that is doing something the night before, knowing every single time I shut off my phone by 10, I just wake up by 7 every single day. And it's like that's how my body works. This is about self-exploration. So find out how your body works. And your body's gonna say, oh yeah, that's exactly what we do. I like doing that. That's good. It's almost inevitable that I'll wake up at 7 if you get off your phone by 10. And you're like, okay, but I can make that sacrifice. I'm done with the morning anxiety. I'll make that sacrifice. And that's it. You make that decision and there won't be any anxiety. Another example is breakfast in the morning. The first thing I do when I wake up is I spend the first hours of my day only pouring into investing in myself. And then 11 to 1, and I do a certain thing during that time. Clock out at 5. Afternoon is for me. That's kind of like how I break down my day. So, for instance, with breakfast, I know for a fact, if I wake up in the morning, I can have every single thing done I need to invest in myself done by 11. Always. How do I know that? Because I know my workout is this long. I know it takes me this long to make breakfast. I know it takes me this long to get ready. I know it takes me this long to do this is that. So I can wake up and not even look at my phone one bit. And I know by the time I come to sit down on my computer to get some work done or to go wherever I'm going or do whatever I'm doing for work, I know for a fact I'm sitting down at 10:50, 11 to get the next phase of my day done. So you have to unparalyze yourself by really investing and obsessing over what you do in your day. and predetermining the time it takes you to do something so that you don't overanalyze the time it won't take you. Because if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to go on a walk, but I don't know this, I don't know that, that's a lot different than waking up knowing if you leave the house immediately from your wake up that you're going to be back in 32 minutes. That's a lot different. And it feels a lot better. Feels a lot better. So the second thing is understanding your comfortability hours. Because at the end of the day, if you have morning anxiety, your body is trying to tell you something. Your body is trying to say, I don't like what's happening, change something, do something, add something, subtract something. It's a warning sign. And you can't force yourself out of anxiety. You have to unravel it. If you force yourself out of it, your body is just going to keep giving you different signals. But if you unravel it, you unravel the warning sign and you unravel that the attachment your body has to that anxiety. So, if there were no rules, what time would you wake up? And compare that to the times of the obligations you have in your day. And ask yourself, how can I get more time to do XYZ in the morning or XYZ in the afternoon so that my obligations in the day don't start so early in the morning? And this was a really big one for me because I love waking up in the early morning, but I also don't some days. And so it took a lot of time for me to understand my body likes both. It's definitely different from for women and men, but I can speak for women because I'm a woman. I can speak for me that my body has different comfortability hours. And once I'm able to say, okay, I love waking up at this time at the beginning of the month, in the middle of the month, I start to feel really tired and this and that, and that's when I like to wake up super late. And then at the end of the month, I just always seem to have so much energy. I'm so ready to get into the next month, and it's just this energy around the end of the month that I love, and it really helps you map out your comfortability hours, and you won't have any anxiety if you're unraveling those warning signs that your body's trying to send you for when you wake up. So sometimes you need to be sleep longer than you are. Sometimes you need to be up longer than you normally are. It all depends on you. If that one resonates with you, oh wait, I have four things. Um, but if that one resonates with you, I've been there. The third thing is to stop discussing what you do in a day. This one goes back to the energetics. We were on strategy for a little bit, but now we're going to go back to the energetics of it. If you don't know the difference between energetics and your strategy, I made a whole entire YouTube video on it. I will try to find what the video was. I post almost every single day, literally on YouTube, so I don't remember what the video was called. But it's a video. It's one that was posted before this one, so maybe that's helpful. It's a full length video. Oh, I mean, I don't even know at this point. Anyways, it's a full length video talking exactly about the difference between energetics and strategy and why your manifestation might not be coming true because you're focused on strategy and not energetics, or energetics and not strategy. All right. So, anyways, once you understand that, you'll understand this point. And yeah, stop discussing what you do in a day. And I say that because this has to do with other people. Unfortunately, we love other people. We do. But what they think about us also brings back that energy to us. So if I always put out energy of lack, sad, poor, hurt, desperate, every time they talk back to me in a conversation, that's exactly what they're going to say back. That's exactly what they're going to mirror back to me. That's exactly the answers they're going to give me. That's exactly the perspective they're speaking to me from. So if I want them to speak to me in a way that emphasizes the fact that I'm happy and I'm always energized, I'm always good in the morning, and life is on a good path, even if that may not be true every day, the more energetic frequency we can put out of that, we're going to receive more of it. So I do that by not discussing what I do in a day because other people cannot have their expectations of what I do because they don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So if it's 10 o'clock and someone calls me and I'm just getting out of bed, they're like, Well, aren't you supposed to be doing this, this, and that? Aren't you supposed to be at work? Aren't you supposed to be doing this? Aren't you supposed to be on your class? Aren't you supposed to be doing your schoolwork? Aren't you supposed to be? And that would piss me off, royally piss me off. And I had to understand, okay, how do I not get people to be my business? Because then if I wake up at 7 a.m., they're like, you're crazy. You're this, you're that. Like it doesn't matter. If I woke up early or late or in the middle, whatever, always got comments on it. If I go to sleep early, late, blah, 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 always got comments on it. So I stopped for a long time. I was trying to make an identity out of waking up early or sleeping in or going to sleep, especially sleeping in early. That one I still am unraveling. The need to go to sleep early so people think I'm productive. Nobody cares, and going to sleep early does not make you productive. Um, but if people don't have the expectation or the idea that you're on a schedule or what your schedule should be, then you don't have to try to convince them otherwise. And you get to have your own schedule. You get to work on what you want to work on when you want to work on it in yourself. You get to form the routine you want to form, and you get to be at the energetic frequency that you want to be because you're not trying to get other people to say something else to you. So again, like when they're giving you their opinions, you're focused on like, oh my gosh, like, no, that's not true. Or like you're spending time explaining to them why you're doing what you're doing at certain times of day. I mean, that pisses me off just saying it. I would never do that again in my life. So um back to the energetics, what you're doing in your reality currently versus what people out in the world are thinking about you is going to come back. So it's easier for you to get that energetic frequency for whatever, okay, whatever is given out is given back to you because it's the most abundant. So if lack, desperation, whatever is what people think about me plus 10 other people thinking that is going to bring that back to me because that's the most abundant. Versus if it's just me thinking good about myself and everybody else thinks bad about me, there's still so much energetic junk out there about me in in consciousness. But when you think about it in a way of like, okay, I do my own thing, even if I think bad about myself, like, okay, let's say I frame it to where I stop discussing what I do in a day. I just show up as happy, do what I want in my day. Now, those 10 people are thinking about me in a positive way. If I wake up sad, depressed, black, there's still 10 other people who think about me, who are putting out this frequency and this is filling up consciousness with the fact that I'm okay with that. I'm safe with that. I'm not in lack. So it gets me out of my lack faster because that's what's already in the frequency. So I hope that makes sense because that's that's what it is. And the fourth thing is to take time to yourself the first thing in the morning. I already talked on this one, but really staying to yourself, anything self-investing that benefits your mind, your body, or your soul. Okay. So this is not texting back your boyfriend or girlfriend because it brings you peace of mind to know that they know that you're awake. This is not calling your mom or your dad first thing in the morning so they know you're safe. This is not getting on social media to post for your business because your business is important to you. If it has anything to do with other people, if it has anything to do with other people, do not do it. Only invest back into your mind, your body, your soul. Praying, journaling, meditating, working out, walking, feeding yourself something really great, taking a lot of time for breakfast, hydrating, shower, clothes, makeup, hair, reading your Bible, trying to think of all the things. Anything that taking your vitamins, doing any specific rituals or like routines you have for body care, skincare, doing all those things in the morning is what's going to set you apart from everyone else, because everyone else wakes up in the morning. First thing is anxiety about their future self. And the second thing is, how do I get my day started? You already know how you're getting your day started because you spend every single day investing back into yourself. So the first thing you do when you wake up is you don't have anxiety because of the exercise I'm going to give you, but also you don't have anxiety because you already know the first thing you're doing when you wake up. I talked about this in the first point. If you know your walk is 32 minutes, you're never going to be stressed first thing in the morning because it's already planned for you. I love going on walks, and it's 32 minutes, and I'm going to put down my phone, take my headphones, and go and listen to this podcast for 32 minutes, walking in this path. That is what benefits your mind, body, and soul. That's energetic. Not energetic. That's nervous system regulation. Okay. So the exercise to do every single morning is really simple. You do it to get rid of it, and then you keep doing it every single morning. Even when you think you don't need to, you keep doing it because it just builds the muscle. It's like if you don't wash your car, if you have a car and it's a white car, it's like a Mustang, a white Mustang car. You go to the car wash every single day. There's going to be a time where you're like, wait, I don't need to go to the car wash today. My car is already washed. But if you have a white Mustang and you go to the car wash once a year, you're going to really have a hard time cleaning that car when it's time to clean it. When that 1 year comes around, 364 days come back, and you're like, it's time to wash my car, you're going to be scraping off dirt and dust because you haven't been keeping up with that hygiene. I talked about it earlier, that mental hygiene, the emotional, spiritual hygiene. How clean is your energy when you are starting your day? Showers can also help a lot with this at night to cleanse your energy before you go to sleep. But also, when you are waking up in the morning, after you pray or do whatever, this needs to be part of your reinvestment time into yourself, where you take your mind, the thing that you're thinking about, you literally visualize you yank back all the energy that you're giving to it. Yank it back. Yoga. Have you heard of yoga? I was in high school not too long ago, and that's what we called yoga. And that'd be so funny if people don't know what that is. But yoga. No, that's so niche though. But literally, yoga. Like yoga that energy back. And then you imagine it going back to yourself. You're like, oh, wait, I can invest all this energy back into me. What do I want to do to invest in myself? What do I want to do to love myself? What do I want to do to invest in me? And it's going to be hard. The first 2 days you do it, the first 3 days you do it, it's going to be really hard. The reason it's going to be so hard is because you're not used to doing it. But just like anything, if you do it after like 2 or 3 days and you do it for a week, you're going to be like, wait, no, it's really easy. So for me, this is how it looks. When I wake up in the morning, I pray, do all of my little things. And then anything that's on my mind, you're not going to have to think of it. You're not going to have to pull out your book, your journal. Blah, blah, blah. You're literally going to know what it is because it's going to be on your mind. So, like this morning, what was it? Yeah, I said I want to do this morning because I have had something to do specifically at 11 o'clock. So I woke up and I haven't had the morning anxiety in a while, but this is the first day of the thing I have to do, which I'm not going to go into details of. But I woke up and immediately, oh my God, at 11 o'clock, I have to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shh, don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else. And I imagine this thing I have to do at 11 o'clock. And I say, wait, let me just Y'all got my energy back, first of all. Thank you. Put that back because that's where it belongs, right here in the current. I'll worry about you later. Bye. Bye. Not worried about you. But my second thought was, oh, every single morning, right when I wake up, after I pray and stuff, exercise. Okay, where are my gym clothes? Oh, they're right here. Okay, great. Let's go on this walk. And then it was gone because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist if you don't allow it to. So I yoggled my energy back and then I go into the first thing. I That's why it's so important to know what you're doing that morning. Like, not know what you're doing as in like, oh, I'm gonna go do 1.2634 miles. Like, just know that you're gonna go work out. And then maybe have, like I talked about earlier, like knowing the seasons of like high energy, low energy throughout a month, for instance, having three or four or five options for that morning thing. So if your morning thing is going to be working out, you need to have two easy workouts, two hard workouts, and two hard workouts. So if you wake up in the morning, you have this mornings. I'm going to give you examples, all right? If I woke up in the morning, I'm like, day's great, feeling so gracious. I mean, grateful. Wonderful, great. And then I'm like, thing at 11 o'clock. Thing at 11 o'clock is like here. I'm like, oh my God, I have this thing at 11 o'clock. I just want to lay in bed till I have that thing. Literally was the thought. And then I'm like, okay, but in the morning, I reinvest into myself. So I'm going to go on this walk. Then I was like, I don't really want to go on a walk. I kind of want to go to the gym. And I'm like, I don't really want to go to the gym because I have blah, blah, blah. So you take all that anxiety and instead of using it for the future self, you're using it to make a decision for right now. And you're like, oh, actually, I'm feeling a very calm workout. I'm next going to do half walk for the neighborhood, do a mile run, and come back home. And because it's something you pre decided, you know how long that would take you. So if you woke up on time, you know, okay, this that routine is my intermediate routine. It's like my slightly, it's in between my like easy and my hard. And that's what I'm feeling today. That takes 15 minutes. Perfect. Like, it's amazing. So make easy, medium, hard options that all take 15 minutes or all take 30 minutes or all take whatever. So that when you wake up, you can pick one. Because the other thing is, last point, maybe, is that when you wake up and you have the energy to do the workout and you're ready to do it, you now take that current fear and, well, you take the fear you would have given to the future self, like later, 11 o'clock, you're using it for the self for 30 minutes from now. So instead of you waking up and saying, oh, I have this thing at 11 o'clock, I'm going to lay in bed, you say, oh my gosh, I want to go work out, but I don't know which one to do. And I don't feel like doing the one that I have planned because I feel like doing something more intensive. Let me just lay here and think about it. I know it's you because it was me. So don't let yourself get to that point. Don't self sabotage yourself like that. Pick options that are all good time limits, have them pre planned. Pick one, go for it. And that's how you are going to completely unravel your paralyzation.